Well, let's get stuck into all the latest royal and entertainment news. Joining me now to talk about all of it is host of the Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered podcast. No one other than Kinsey Schofield. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Want to start off with the royals here. It has been revealed that Harry and Meghan are currently on a family trip around Europe as their reported trip to the UK remains up in the air. Apparently, their trip to the UK would be their first back home since 2022, but it remains unclear whether they're going to do it because Harry and Meghan may be denied taxpayer-funded security for their trip. Kinsey, are they going to make it back, and why should the beleaguered UK taxpayer be paying for their security?
Right. I mean, I think the only thing interesting about Harry and Meghan these days is that they are unpredictable. The royal sparkle they once had has completely disappeared. So I understand why they need a visit with King Charles. That royal proximity gives them credibility. But with Harry previously stating that his wife and children are not safe in Britain, he's backed himself into a really awkward corner here. But you're absolutely right. It would be catastrophic if anything happened to Harry and Meghan while they were visiting the UK. But that's why I trust the process. Ravik, who did deny Harry this additional security that he's requested, it's their job to assess credible threats using intelligence the public doesn't have access to. And if they concluded Harry doesn't require the level of taxpayer funded security he's demanding, I have to assume that decision was based on the best available evidence.
Well, but sure. But I mean, we've seen Harry and Meghan. I thought they were big Netflix stars and they had all of this other money coming in from all sorts of other things. Why can't they just hire some private security like an ordinary billionaire might do?
No, you are correct. And they will arrive with some of their private security, but what Harry wants is armed security waiting
Oh.
for him at the airport to shadow him throughout his trip automatically every time he comes back to the UK. And he was warned that this level of security would be taken from him when he quit his job as a working member of the royal family, and actions have consequences. So he will actually is going to have some help from the government and the Metropolitan Police. He's going to have his own entourage of security, and it's my opinion that he'll be perfectly fine.
I just think he's suffering from a bit of motorcade deprivation syndrome here, and he misses all the lights and the motorcycles and all of that stuff. But hey, let's stick with the royal family here. Go on to Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. She has recently completed a grueling 23-mile hike. That's better than I could do. That's over 37 kilometers for our viewers here in Australia. Now, she did this. She took part in the National Three Peaks Challenge Sunday. It's apparently a 24-hour endurance event. I'm getting tired just reading about this here. That involves climbing the highest peaks in Scotland, England, and Wales. Pretty remarkable achievement, though, given that she has been struggling with some pretty serious health issues. I'm color me impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. All of us. Yeah, Princess Catherine completed one of Britain's toughest endurance challenges only 18 months after announcing she was in remission from cancer. And this wasn't a glamorous photo opportunity. This was grit. She quietly put one foot in front of the other while raising money for the cancer hospital that saved her life. She posted a very emotional video where she also almost breaks down in tears discussing this. She's always been athletic, but after everything she's endured, this sends a powerful message that recovery isn't just surviving, it's rebuilding. And her perseverance is very admirable. It's the kind of quality we look for in a future queen.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say it is remarkable because it is great to finally see somebody involved with the royals who's not being tainted by scandal and is actually doing the sort of life of service that people who are in that family should be engaged in. Unfortunately, I can't say the same thing, though, for the former Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, and it's been revealed that she visited, oh no, Jeffrey Epstein multiple times while he was serving a jail sentence in 2009 for child solicitation in Florida. Now, according to the Telegraph newspaper, Ferguson visited Epstein twice at a Palm Beach office where the convicted sex offender was serving his 13-month sentence after copying that rather controversial plea deal. Kinsey, not a great look, is it?
Oh my gosh, to say the least. I think her days as a public figure are so over. Anyone associated with Jeffrey Epstein deserves scrutiny. That's simply the reality after everything we've learned. Whether Sarah Ferguson knew the full extent of who Epstein was or not, these associations have aged pretty terribly. And the royal family has spent years now trying to distance itself from the Epstein scandal. Stories like this just reopen old wounds.
Yeah, to say the least, it's pretty disturbing stuff here. On a lighter note, though, this here is a bit of American royalty. The wedding that will probably break the internet and a lot more that's playing out. It's the tying of the knot between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, Page 6, the New York Post, has revealed that musicians Stevie Nicks and Tim McGraw, big names here, are set to perform at the wedding, which is going to take place at New York's Madison Square Garden over, woohoo, the July 4th weekend. How patriotic is that? This week, City Hall confirmed there is a permit at MSG for a Friday bash for more than 1,000 people. Kinsey, who is going to be at this wedding here? Tell us about this. This seems like a massive party.
Well, we're clearly not dealing with two introverts here, are we? Taylor Swift
No.
doesn't have a guest list. She has an industry convention. This is what I would call Kelsey Con. Travis Kelsey. It's a joke on his name.
No, I like
but to
it.
be fair, both individuals are used to playing in stadiums. I think this is kind of appropriate. If there's one couple capable of shutting down New York for a weekend, it's Taylor and Travis, and good for them. They're clearly in love, but I do think it's going to be a who's who of Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and the sports industry.
Yeah, no, we'll be pretty big. It'll be interesting to see who turns up, or rather who didn't turn up. I'm sorry, my invitation somehow got lost in the post, but I've got to work this weekend anyway, so couldn't make it anyway, sorry. But speaking of weddings, also, this was kind of a bit of fun here. Musicians Ed Sheeran and Martin Garrix have gone viral after they hilariously crashed a wedding. Take a look at this.
Martin did a show, I did a show, we finished. He's got a DM from someone saying, can you crash my sister's wedding?
So we're going there.
So we're going to go and crash the wedding.
That's quite the fun little thing to do. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of wedding story people tell for the rest of their lives. You can spend thousands of dollars on flowers, but you can't budget for Ed Sheeran crashing your wedding, walking through the door. I can imagine the bride's jaw hitting the floor. It's one of those rare celebrity moments that actually feels genuine instead of manufactured. And that is really hard to create these days, thanks to social media.
That is very, very true. Also, this just, looking at these numbers here, this made me feel old here, finding out that musician Kanye West has celebrated his 49th birthday over the weekend with his wife and close friends at the Palace of Versailles, where TMZ revealed that the party cost a little under $400,000. Look, that actually seemed kind of like chump change to me. Tell us more about this party that they had.
Well, I mean, I think that it's Kanye's desperately seeking relevance again. He has been canceled multiple times. I really rarely have to report on Kanye West, if I'm being honest with you. He seems convinced that bigger, louder, and more expensive automatically means more relevant. I don't think that's true anymore. There was a time when he dominated the culture because he is a very talented musician, but today he typically dominates headlines because of the spectacle. And
Yeah.
after years of anti-Semitism and offensive behavior online, the fascination has faded for a lot of people. And a lavish birthday party at Versailles doesn't erase the damage he's done.
Yeah, look, in Versailles, well, that has a bit of historical memories that are a bit fraught themselves. But anyway, that's a little heavy there. But anyway, Nicola Peltz, though, finally, just want to ask you about this one here, because it's kind of interesting to me. The wife of Brooklyn Beckham has mysteriously parted ways with the beloved dog foundation she co-founded with a friend, despite repeatedly screaming its praise. The 31-year-old's name was reportedly wiped from the Yogi's House website, and she has since unfollowed the foundation on social media. The shock move comes soon after the actress and her billionaire businessman father, Nelson Peltz, suffered legal setbacks on a pair of high-profile lawsuits. Tell us about this. Is there anything more you can tell us about this rather bizarre one just quickly?
Well, remember, we were told this charity was important enough to become part of the family rift with the Beckhams. Now, Nicola has quietly distanced herself from it. That doesn't automatically vindicate Victoria Beckham because Brooklyn said, my mom refused to share a post about rescuing dogs. But it does make people wonder whether that disagreement was really about the
Hmm.
charity after all.
Yeah, no, I think there's more to that story. I don't know. People could be barking up the wrong tree on that one, Kinsey Schofield. Thank you so much for your time here tonight.